Alrighty, folks, we got some 2025 releases to get cleared up here before we get to the end of the year. Some obscure new wave of British heavy metal releases. First up, we have Clientelle, or is it Clientelle? Formed in Herefordshire in 1977. So these guys, one of the earlier new wave of British heavy metal bands. So they do have that earlier sound to them. They released a single in 1979, then a split cassette in 1981. In 1981, they released a split cassette. And they also released their debut album called Destination Unknown in 81. Then they released, and this actually was the album cover for that Destination Unknown. Then they released an album called Live Takes in 1983 that they recorded while they were an opening band for Hawkwind's tour. 3 of those songs are here from that Live Takes 83 album. Then they released a demo in 85 and then they split up. They've had a couple of minor reunions. And then we get this obscure NWOBHM release, double LP. You got CD1 has 3 tracks from 1980, and then 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 tracks from 81. CD2 has a track from 1982. It has 5 tracks from 83. 3 of those that I mentioned came on the from the Live Tracks release. And then they have 2, 4, 6 tracks from 1984, 4 of which are previously unreleased. So yeah, I mentioned that these guys were formed in 77. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of 70s hard rock in this, pub rock. Think first Saxon album, first Vardis album. Hence a Bad Company and Slade in there. Clientelle, Live History, 1980 to 1984. And next up we have Weapon, formed in 1980. They released a single in 1980, and then they released a compilation in 03. And they were reformed in 09. They've been pretty much going since then. They've released 3 full-length albums, and the last one being Nuclear Power in 2023. This is another obscure NWOBHM release called No Peace Till Hammersmith, because these live recordings were all taken when they were the opening band for Motorhead on a stint through England, personally invited by Fast Eddie Clarke, if my memory serves me correctly. Think Vardis, Tank, hints of Holocaust, hints of early Maiden. Weapon, No Peace Till Hammersmith. And yes, these all were released in 2025. Next up we have Wulf from Shropshire, formed in 1982. there were 3 other Wulf bands, new wave of British heavy metal bands. They all spelled their name with an O. These guys wanted to separate themselves from the pack, so spelled their name with a U. They broke up in '85. As far as I know, they don't have any releases except for this one right here. It's 2025 Obscure NWOBHM Releases label. Whenever I'm listening to these guys, I keep thinking of Emerson, Lake and Palmer playing new wave of British heavy metal. If Emerson, Lake and Palmer had formed in 1982 and started playing new wave of British heavy metal, they would sound like this. There's 10 tracks on here. 6 of them are over 6 minutes, and one of them is almost 9 minutes long. And of course, since I said Emerson, Lake and Palmer, there's a lot of keyboards. Not overt, but there's definitely keyboards in there. More keyboards than you're used to hearing in new wave of British heavy metal. Then last one, I actually accidentally threw this in with my one of the collection updates. It got mixed in there. But this is another 2025 release. This is Helven Classics. So the one actually not on Obscure New Wave of British Heavy Metal releases. These guys, they released one album, well, EP, a 3-song EP in '81 that was called Through the Smoke, which you can see. This is Through the Smoke live in Nottingham. So those 3 tracks from that EP are on here. Then in 2014, on vinyl, from Buried by Time and Dust Records, they had to release Through the Smoke, Into the Grave, Alive 81, which is what this is here, although they changed the name, so maybe Buried by Time and Dust Records didn't want them using the Into the Grave, Alive 81, so they had to shrink it down to Live in Nottingham. But it's the exact same track listing. So it's pretty raw, pretty heavy. Hence the 70s Priest, 70s Diamond Head, Diano era, Maiden, early Tank, early Motorhead. They even do a cover of No Class as their encore. That's the actual cover of their original EP called Through the Smoke. Pretty cool artwork on that one. Cool band shots in there. So yeah, I love digging out and digging up obscure new wave of British heavy metal bands, and the Obscure NWOBHM Releases label is a good place to find them. They just released a couple others not too long ago, but I was like, man, I'm too far in the weeds as far as my purchases and collection updates. I was like, I'm gonna have to hold off. But if you like that stuff, check out their website. It's Obscure NWOBHM Releases. And this was Helven Classics. I really don't know that much about them, but you can check them out too to see what they got going on. Alrighty, you guys have a good one.